Speaking to news media, Waltz called the incident embarrassing but insisted that no classified material was shared. President Donald Trump and intelligence officials have also downplayed security concerns. However, some lawmakers from both parties are calling for an investigation, calling it a major breach. Waltz could not explain how Goldberg was added to the chart but denied his staff was responsible. He said he has spoken to Elon Musk for help in finding out what happened. Meanwhile, Russia has said it will not begin a maritime ceasefire with Ukraine until some Western sanctions are lifted. This comes as after the US announced that both sides had agreed to halt strikes in the Black Sea. The Kremlin insists that sanctions on Russian banks, include Bank, must be removed and access to the Swiss payment system restored before the ceasefire can begin. Lifting sanctions would require EU approval, but European officials have said removing Russian forces from Ukraine is a key condition for any changes. US President Donald Trump suggested that Russia might be delaying the end of the war. Denmark has welcomed changes to U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance's planned visit to Greenland, which has been shortened to a single-day trip to a U.S. military base. Earlier, Vance was set to visit Greenland for several days, attending cultural events including a dog-sled race. However, the trip was seen as controversial, especially as President Donald Trump has threatened to take control of Greenland, a Danish territory. Now, J.D. Vance and Vance will only visit the U.S. Pacific Space Base, while J.D. Vance will be the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit Greenland. Limiting the trip to the base makes it less controversial. And lastly, on global news, a landmark inquiry has found that South Korea's government allowed the mass overseas adoption of at least 170,000 children over decades, leading to serious human rights violation. The report says private agencies driven by profit carried out large-scale adoptions with little oversight, committing fraud, falsifying records, and coercing birth parents. Since the 1950s, South Korea has sent more children abroad for adoption, more than any other country, mostly to the West. While some adoptees found loving homes, others faced hardship and trauma. And that's it from the global scene. Rebecca Guffey reporting for BTV News.